in a pinball machine, a 20-gram pinball travels from left to right across the pinball machine with a velocity of 0.5 meters a second. When a flipper hits it with a force of 3 newtons for 0.15 seconds, what is the resultant vector and velocity? We got a lot in this equation, so that's good. But we start out with our basic definition of F net delta P over delta T. And then P2 minus P1 delta T is basically the way to simplify that or make it a little bit easier to work with. What we're looking for is the resultant vector, which in this case is going to be our P2. So go ahead and solve for P2. F net times delta T equals P2 minus P1. We go ahead and move that P1 over. F net times delta T plus P1 equals P2. So now we're ready to just go ahead and start putting things into our equation. Now, P1 is going to be multiplied. You have to get the mass times the velocity. So, because remember, P equals mass times velocity. So we take that initial V1, which is this guy right here, multiply it times the mass of the pinball. We get the result of P1 equaling 0.0100 kilograms meters a second. Now that we've converted that, we're going to go ahead and put everything into our equation. 0, 3, 0, remember 3 newtons, y direction, times 0.15. That was our time. That's how long it was struck with the 3 Newton force. And then P1 right here, 0.0100. The resultant vector is 0, 0.01, 0.45, 0. Makes a lot of sense. That means it's barely going in the x direction, mostly going in the y direction. A great deal more in the y direction. Makes a lot of sense. Now, in order to get our velocity, we go back to our one basic equation, basic momentum equation. Momentum equals mass times velocity. That being the case, we solve for velocity. We get P divided by mass equals velocity. Well, we already have our P. This is the resultant vector right here. So we know what our P is, and we know what our mass is, 0.02 kilograms. That being the case, we get 0.5, 22.50 meters a second. Once again, makes an awful lot of sense because barely going in the x direction, mostly going in the y direction.